People are fascinated by the food. They want to know, what do I eat? When do I eat? How do I eat? Actually, this, like, how are you supposed to put this in your mouth without being messy? There's really no way. I'm just gonna have to shove it all in, right? The salad is really not very, it's hard to get it into your mouth like elegantly. It is so delicious though. People ask me all the time, how do I make such good gains, and how have I, because I have like put on the most enormous amount of muscle over the years. And I always say to them, it's because this is how I eat. All my food is really, calorifically light but nutritionally dense. And so whenever you're eating food that is nutritionally dense but calorifically light, you can eat a massive amount of it, but also your muscles get really, really well nourished. They get really well fed. They get, all of the micronutrients, not just the macronutrients, which are proteins, carbs, and fats. You really need to concentrate when you're eating on getting the micronutrients, which are all of your, vitamin C, vitamin D, your magnesium, potassium, all of those different micronutrients that your body needs to be healthy. A lot of people just focus too much on the macros and they forget about the micros. The macros are what help you to build muscle and build strength and get stronger. But the micros are the ones that actually keep you healthy. And I always find that if your tissues are healthy, if your body is healthy, if your liver is healthy, your liver is able to burn fat. Your liver is your biggest fat burning organ of your body. A lot of people don't know that. So if your liver is healthy, you don't have fatty liver, you don't have any kind of diseased liver or a liver which is overloaded with toxins, then your liver can break down fat cells into triglycerides, transport them through the blood to the tissues for energy very efficiently. So that's why my body burns fat very efficiently, because my liver is very cleansed. Now I'm chewing. You should never talk with your mouth full. My husband would have a heart attack. He hates it when I talk with my mouth full. Am I still discovering new vegan foods all the time? Yes, I probably am, but not so much vegetables or grains or beans or lentils or things like that. So, the vegan market is really exploding. This is a soy-based chicken substitute. It tastes and looks scarily like chicken. I mean, it actually tastes and looks like brown meat chicken. It has the same kind of texture. So the vegan market is exploding with new foods. And I don't avoid soy for any reason. A lot of people think that you have to avoid soy, but there's no scientific studies to suggest that soy is bad for the body. But I do discover, I'm loving discovering new things like this that come on the market. The problem with a lot of the vegan foods that come on the market, there's ones that are out at the minute called Beyond Burgers, and everyone's going on about these Beyond Burgers, and they taste absolutely amazing. They taste like real meat and they're juicy and whatever, but the problem with the Beyond Burgers is they taste amazing because they are so full of fat. They are shockingly full of fat. So people sometimes equate vegan with being healthy. Being vegan does not necessarily mean that you're healthy. There are a lot of unhealthy vegans out there. And unfortunately, a lot of the foods that vegans consume, a lot of the foods that come on the market that are supposed to be kind of meat substitutes, they're not healthy. Like, they are not healthy at all. They are designed to taste good, to have people, obviously to sell them, to be like meat. But unfortunately, if something is designed to taste good, it doesn't always have a health value to it. So this chicken or non-chicken here has been sauteed with a little bit of fresh garlic, some chili, some fresh coriander, and a few spices as well. I'm not sure. I think there's cumin in there, some ground cumin, maybe some turmeric, and I think there's some spring onion in there too. It's absolutely delicious. So there's no fat or anything added to it. It's actually just sauteed in oil. Not that I avoid fat, I don't, but I try and make most of my meals be centered around my protein. All my food just comes from the local supermarket, and anything that you can't find in the local supermarket, you can find on Amazon. I find that if, people say, oh, does it have all these weird and wacky ingredients? Well, yeah, sometimes vegan food does have weird and wacky ingredients, but I mean, this was Indian, so it wasn't necessarily vegan. But what I find is you can always just go onto Amazon. I buy all my fresh turmeric on Amazon, so I do fresh juices every day. Fresh turmeric on Amazon is £2.50 for a kilo. Like, it's really, really, really cheap, and it's amazing for inflammation, especially when it's juiced fresh. So anything you can't find, you just go onto Amazon and buy it. The spice that I bought was £2.99. Some people might say, oh my God, that's a lot for some spices. Yeah, maybe it is, but it'll be used in Indian cooking. Doesn't go off. We'll use it in other curries, and it's worth it to me to have really, really, really good tasting food. The reason why I hired a chef, and sometimes I don't want to tell people that I have a chef because they're like, oh, look at at her. People love to say, oh, well, it's all right for her. She can do all this and she can do this and she can do this because she has a housekeeper, because she has a chef. First of all, I didn't have all those things in the beginning. I had to work my ass off round the clock to be able to afford those things. I homeschool my 4 kids and nutrition is extremely important to me. And whenever I was looking after the kids full time and I didn't have any help and I wasn't working, I used to make nutritious food for them all day. Nutritious breakfast, nutritious snacks, nutritious lunch. But then what I was finding was, as I was working more and I wasn't in charge of their food anymore, they were asking, whoever was, my housekeeper or Amy who looks after them, they were asking them, can I just have like a bagel, or, can we have some pizza and chips for lunch? And so their diet was slipping really, really badly. And also they were out of a routine of eating breakfast and lunch, and then they weren't really hungry at dinner because they were just snacking all through the day. And so then by the time it came to dinner time, I would make food and then they would all say, nobody would say they were hungry, or everyone would say they weren't hungry. So what I realized was that if I could hire a chef, not only would he cook food during the day that was nutritious, but a healthy, nutritious, meal on the table for the kids at lunchtime, but then I wouldn't have to finish work at 4 p.m. every day so that I could go downstairs and cook dinner. And it was always, I am running like an enormous company now. I mean, not enormous, but like big enough, with a multiple 7-figure turnover. You can't do that and do all the laundry and cook dinner and homeschool your 4 kids. Like, something has to give, So I thought, well, the reason why I have a housekeeper and I have a chef is because those hours that I'm not spending doing those things, I can spend on my business, and the rest of the time I spend with the kids. So if you can, one of the biggest tips I give people when growing a business is find where you can replace yourself as quickly as possible. So what are the tasks that you are doing that are not bringing any value to your business and they're not bringing any value to your life? And as soon as you can afford to hire someone else to do those tasks, do it. So the minute I could afford a housekeeper, I hired one. And then the minute I could afford a chef, which was a little further down the line, I hired one. And it really has transformed our life, because now I get to eat extremely nutritious, healthy food every single day. The kids do as well. And we have dinner on the table every single night. And we get to sit down and eat a meal as a family rather than be fragmented all over the place, because I was working, my husband was working, the kids weren't hungry, and our whole kind of home life became out of balance. So in order to bring that back to balance, I brought in people to help me. And a chef was one of those people. And, it means we get to eat really good vegan cuisine every single day, and everyone's tastes are catered to. So if you want to judge me for having a chef and say, well, it's all right for her, go on ahead. I really don't care. Because it works for me, it enables me to work more, and it enables me to spend the rest of the time with my husband and kids, and they are really the most important people to me. And I don't want to be spending my time doing laundry or tidying the house or cooking whenever I could be spending time with them. So to me, it's actually a far better choice rather than a lot of people judge me for it, but I always think, well, I'm not a good mother if I'm tired and exhausted and cooking and worrying about the mess that the kids are making. I'm a much better mother whenever I don't have any friction points, which we don't have any friction points at home anymore, and everybody lives very happily and very joyfully, and we have such a great community in the house. That's one thing people will say, is that we have an amazing community of people who come and work here in the house with us. And it's really just like kind of one big happy family. And so that really does make a difference to your life whenever it's easy, friction-free, and joyful.